Focus for today is on index notation, and there are 3 steps. The very first thing is we got to understand why we're actually doing this and why we're doing index notation. Second thing is we need to know what happens when we multiply or divide indices and a little bit of reasoning there. And finally, we need to know how to work with indices of indices, basically brackets, and with reasoning. So these are the things that we're working on today. And we're going to be looking at keywords of base, index or indices, and powers. So for the very first bit is why are we even doing this? Well, sometimes it might get quite cumbersome to actually express something like this. So what they do is instead of just saying writing out this way, they're writing out as 3 to the power of 7. So the 3 is your base, 7 is your index or power. And you get the idea it's going to be 3 to the power of 7. And if you want to evaluate, what they're trying to say is evaluate means like I want my final answer. You take in a calculator, you plug it all in, and this is your answer right here. If not, when they use the word simplify, it means that you combine things together. So like this. So you can only do these rules when they're of the same base. If they're different base, you can't really do any of this. So for the very first one, when you have 3 to the power 2 times 3 to the power 3, when we multiply together, we add the powers. So in this case, you get your 5. Now how it really works is that there's 2 of these guys and there's 3 of these guys. So all together, there are 5 of these guys. Okay, rule number 2, when we talk about dividing, we're actually subtracting the powers. So in that case, 3 to the power 5 divided by 3 to the power 3 is really 3 to the power 2. Or if you want to look at it this way, you got 3 5 times, and you got 3 times. And if you start eliminating them, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, you're going to be left with 2. So pause and have a go at these questions. Here are your answers. So for the very first one, here's a little trick right here. It doesn't really tell you any number right there, but what that really means is that actually just a 1. So when you take 9 to the power 1 times 9 to the power 9, you get 9 to the power 10. Okay, you know dividing means subtracting powers, so automatically get yourself to 5 to the power 8. These ones, just do it one at a time. I would suggest doing the multiplication first, if there's a divide. So you group them together, you get that, you times it, and get your answer right here. Last one, you're dividing, therefore you're actually subtracting powers. Boom, there we go. Okay, mistake zone. So many times when I see people saying 10 to the power 0 or anything to the power 0, they say automatically, oh, sir, it's equal to 0. Well, not quite, okay? So it's actually equal to 1. Anything to the power 0 is equal to 1. So what you're trying to say is that this is 1, so 1 times 1 gives you 1. Okay, for the very third rule, think of it as an indices of indices. In this case, you got brackets right here. So what happens is when we raise the power to the third power, we're actually multiplying indices. Or in this case, when you see a bracket, you're multiplying. Now how that works is, you know how there's 5? Well, I wrote this 5 times. And if I break this down, you can see that there's actually 10 of them altogether. So if you're stuck and not sure what to do, just write out 5 times, depending on whatever number it is over here, of course. Then you can see what the answer is. So again, pause and have a go. Here are your answers. So times together, or if you want to break it down into individually, you got 9 to the power 12. Again, you want to write this 4 times if you want to break it down. You get 7 to the power 24. And finally, you get 32 to the power of 20. Again, these are like ways for you to look at brackets, okay? So finally, as our focus for summary, in this case, we look at only the same base. You can only simplify if they have the same base. If you're not, then you really can't, all right? That's a trap. Second thing is you already know when you multiply, you add the powers. When you divide, you subtract the powers. When you have indices of indices, basic bracket, you multiply the powers. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple exam questions to try. Pause and have a go. Cool. Here are your answers. I think you already know the fact that 3 plus x will give you 7. So the only thing that gives you that is actually 4. Now you just need to know how to write properly, and that's it. Same thing for here. 2 times something gives you 6. Everyone knows it's 3, but just make sure you write properly. Right, have a go at this one. Okay, this one might be a little bit more challenging, so I'm going to explain it bit by bit. So 1000m divided by 100n can be written in the form of 10 to the power z. Express z in terms of m and n. Okay, a lot to take in, so let's break it down. So for the very first one, 1000m, 1000 is really just 10 to the power 3, because 10 times 10 times 10 gives you 1000. So in that case, I could really just say this. This 1000 here is really 10 to the power 3 to the power m. But remember, when it's a bracket of something, in this case, you really just times them together. Same thing for 100. 100 is 10 to the power 2, which is 10 times 10. You do that, you get 10 to the power of 2n. So altogether, when you write this down, you get 10 to the power 3m divided by 10 to the power of 2n to give you 10 to the power z. So really all you're saying is this guy minus this guy will give you this guy as your final answer. So coming back to our focus for today, these are the things that we've worked on. I hope you enjoyed this video.